Do you know what a country is? Even though we live in modern society, until today, there are still many people who do not know what country is. Just as the country we talk about now, the content this word refers to, is it country or state? Both of these words can be translated into Chinese as guozhao, but their connotations are completely different. Today, the country we modern people talk about, more specifically refers to the state. This is a very modern concept. A modern country is first and foremost a sovereign state, and the sovereignty of a modern country is built upon each individual. The power of the sovereign comes from the consent of the individuals, thus forming the sovereignty of the country. So the country we talk about now is a modern country. It is different from ancient political entities. The word state emphasizes the political nature, while country is a more general and commonly used term. It can refer to any geographically defined area and can also be used to describe various types of political entities. So, country emphasizes more geographical and cultural characteristics. For example, the folk culture and natural landscape of a region, or they share the same ethnic characteristics, same language, and so on. Many political entities that have appeared in history are all collectively referred to as countries by us. In fact, this is a very inaccurate statement, such as the city-states of ancient Greece, the Roman Republic, and later the Roman Empire, or various kingdoms in the Middle Ages. None of these are states. They should be considered countries. Taking Chinese history as an example, the Qing dynasty from 1616 to 1912 should be seen as a country of the feudal era, and since the Xinhai Revolution, the Republic of China, established in 1912, the Republic of China was a state until 1949. According to a simple historical perspective, we usually consider them all part of the broad cultural concept of China, just different periods of China. Why is one a country and the other a state in the Qing dynasty, Hainan and Guangdong? How should these two be distinguished? Could it be that ancient ones are always considered countries? Are modern ones always considered states? Are they divided according to the timeline of history? It's not because we refer to the state of a modern country that has clear definitions and standards. According to Max Weber, in the book, Politics as a Vocation, the classic definition of the state, we can see that a modern state is within a certain territorial scope, with the monopoly on legitimate violence, and the legitimate authority to exercise power. Apart from having specific administrative institutions, national territory and citizens, there are also specific cultures, histories, languages, and so on. The most crucial aspect is, the foundation of state authority in a modern state must be based on the rule of law. Some may question when they see this. It seems like the Qing dynasty also meets these requirements. In reality, the Qing dynasty does not meet two fundamental requirements. First, the Qing dynasty did not have citizens. What does it mean to be a citizen? A citizen is a legal member of a country. All the rights and obligations of citizens are written in the Constitution, such as the right to vote, the right to freedom of speech, the right to participate in political activities, and so on. However, what the Qing dynasty had were subjects. Subjects did not have statutory rights of citizens. Their rights were not protected by the national constitution, but were directly controlled by the rulers. This also leads to the second point. The Qing dynasty did not have rule of law. What is rule of law? Rule of law is a clear political concept. In a society, the law should be the highest authority. It applies equally to everyone, regardless of status or rank, without distinction between scholars, farmers, workers, and merchants, including the government. Government officials, public servants, all need to be bound by the law. In other words, a society under the rule of law no longer needs arbitrary rulers, and does not lead to injustices needing to be reported to the capital, like the practice of petitioning the emperor in the capital, because laws are established based on fixed principles and are enforced and interpreted. The law cannot be subject to individual will and manipulation. In other words, the rule of law emphasizes political ideas. It is a social principle. It is the equality and stability of the law, and its all-encompassing binding force. While the Qing dynasty possessed a legal system, the legal system is broad and extensive. It includes all things related to the law. Of course, it also has a specific legal system, but it may not necessarily include the rule of law principles mentioned above. Up to this point, we will find country-state. Their connotations are completely different. It can even be said to be poles apart. Obviously, both of these words are translated into Chinese as country. Very imprecise. In many specific contexts, it is easy to cause confusion. This leads to confusion when we talk about countries. If there is not enough context, as contextual links, it is difficult for us to determine the country being referred to here, whether it refers to a population group in a historical area, I hear it, or is it referring to a broad and extensive specific cultural history, Sun Yat-sen, or is it referring to a sovereign state in a modern sense? A widespread understanding of the concept of the modern state. This also involves issues related to the Chinese grammar system. We will not delve into it further. In today's context, if we were to trace back the discussion on the formation of modern nation-states, we have to start with Hobbes' Leviathan, because Leviathan is the first systematic discussion on the political philosophy of the concept of the modern state. Before Hobbes put forward a new theory about the state and government, common understanding of the concept of modern nation-states, concepts such as the nature, role, and sovereignty of the state and government had not been clearly articulated. Africa mare and pars. The political and social structures at that time are met, tended towards a feudal system, monarchy or city-state systems. These forms are fundamentally different from modern nation-states. In Leviathan, Hobbes proposed a new theory on states and governments. He emphasized that the legitimacy of government comes from a social contract. He believed that the existence of the state is to maintain social order and avoid the chaos of the state of nature. He clearly expounded the concept of the state. He proposed theories of state sovereignty and authority. Although in moral choices, many tend to criticize Leviathan, but it did indeed lay the foundation for later political philosophy and international relations theory, laid the groundwork, such as Locke that we later see, Rousseau, Tocqueville, Thomas Paine, Adam Smith, David Thoreau, and so on. We can all see their discussions on the diverse issues of political philosophy can also be found in Leviathan, such as the social contract theory we just mentioned. The idea of sovereignty residing in the people. Of course, this is reflected in Leviathan as the sovereignty of the people. In the upcoming episodes, I will provide a comprehensive overview for everyone of the political philosophy ideas in Leviathan. Stay tuned as I take you through a simplified view of philosophy. Friends, see you in the next episode.